What's up, everybody? This is Brian, and this is More Low Less Talk. All right, this is part 2 of the rear suspension build. I don't have a good solid build video for you because, to be honest, I've been trying to figure this out. I've spent a couple of days now, just kind of nipping and tucking and just figuring out kind of what I need to do to get this to get this install done. But what I want to do is first show you guys what the goal here is. Okay, so here's our factory lower arm, here's our factory upper arm. Now, here's what happens. At ride height, both of these are parallel with each other, right? Well, when this thing, let's just say this is attached to the car, this is attached to the car, and these two are on the axle, okay? When this thing moves up 6 inches, and this moves up 6 inches, now all of a sudden we've got an angle. That's what our pinion does, it changes angle. Whereas down here, it's straight up and down, and when you go up, it's got this angle, okay? So, the goal here is to make them the same length, so that when this moves up 6 inches, this will also move up 6 inches, and we're staying parallel, or we're staying perpendicular in the same angle. So no matter where it is on the height, it's staying the pinion's staying the same angle. Okay, so having said all that, let's show you where I'm at so far. Okay, so here is our lower arm, no problem. Here's our upper arm, and this is where all the problems are. So you can see I've got it mounted here in the factory spot. And as we go on through and watch where it goes through, it's actually going through the floor into the back of the seat, which brings me to the inside. All right, let's have a look. Okay, so what we're looking at here is, this thing's probably going to be around here somewhere. Now this line represents 20 inches. So this is where I'm going to mount. And basically I need to fabricate some mounts that bolt onto the frame portion here. They're going to come out here and they're going to bolt in, and that's going to get that. Now once I'm all done, I'll have the body of the car, I'll just shape something that welds onto here. And that's just going to be to seal the outside from the inside and also make it look better. Now this is also going to jut into the back of the seat. If I'm being honest, I don't care if it juts in the back of the seat. I can reshape the back of the seat, but I do want the seat to go in and look normal, so I don't want it going out so far that it pushes the seat out, you know. So and that's that. And then the other thing is cut out where the drive shaft tunnel is. So because this pinion, again, as it came up before, it would bend down and it would miss all of this stuff. Well, now it's going to come up and stay straight, and so it's going to hit all this. So I'm going to have to reshape all of this as well. Again, this is our frame and this is the body. So I'm going to have to do some frame stuff there to strengthen that, and that will get that. Now, that's a lot of work in and of itself, but I got even more work now. Let's go back over here. Okay. So again, here's our bar going into the back of the seat. Problem is, look at this gap I got between it and the frame. Okay, that's a problem. So imagine once this thing moves up, 6 inches more, 8 inches more, I don't know how far it's going to go. That's going to jut. I mean, that's basically, it's going to hit, it's not going to work. So what I need to do is essentially a C-notch similar to this one, but just for this bar. And in fact, this C-notch I actually put in here back in the day, and it turns out I didn't even need it. It was a waste of time. So I'll probably fill that back in, but essentially a C-notch right here for this bar. The other thing is I think the C-notch is going to come way up into here. Now if that happens, I am going to have to reshape this frame. We got a fuel line here. I think it's a fuel line, and we have a brake line right here. So I'm gonna have to move that out of the way. Then I'm gonna have to cut the body of the car up so that I can access the top, so I can weld this on proper and strengthen this frame back up. And then I will weld this body stuff back on. And that's the way I have to do this, unfortunately. If we're gonna do this and make it right, that's just the way it's got to get done. I don't have a lift, so I can't pull the body off the car or anything like that, and all that. It's just, I don't know. This is just the way we have to do it. Here's the other thing I wanted to point out. This was my fault. This was not from the factory. Here's our airbags that I pulled out. All right, and what I want to point out is look how off this bottom is compared to the top. Now what has happened here is probably easier to show you on this side with this hand. So this belt bolts up to the car, and this bolts into the axle. And so what was happening is the axle, trying to do this right, the axle, when it's fully inflated in drive height, it was this plate and this plate were perfectly in line with each other. But as the axle comes up and also tips, that's what's causing this right here. So it actually came forward and tipped at an angle. So it's all skewed looking. And it's just been like that for whatever, the 13 or 14 years since I installed these things. And man, these bags ain't made for that, man. That is way, way, way off. So that is another thing I'm going to need to fix while I'm in here, is those airbag mounts on the axle. I'm gonna have to adjust those to where they line up better. At least they won't be up at an angle now, but they will. I don't know. I'll have to take a look at it, but I'll just have to move them to. They're going to kind of still go up and down straight now because we're making these bars equal length. But I don't know if it's going to like shift forward or backwards. I'm going to have to take a look at that. Either way, it looks like I'm going to have to move that mount somehow or other. But anyway, that's it, man. That's where I'm at. And once that is all done, once I figure out what I'm doing with the bar, where the bar's got to go, once I figure out the C-notch in the frame, then my last thing is just to simply cover where the drive shaft goes back on there and put these covers on here, and this rear suspension will be done. Then I can get to some fun stuff, some stuff I've done before. I'm going to do some body modifications, stuff you'll be able to see. You know, all this stuff here kind of sucks. It's so much work because you don't even see it. But you know, it's got to get done. You want to do it right, it's got to get done. So anyway, we'll do some body modifications after that. Then we'll do some body work, and then go ahead and get it painted. And then after that, we've got some engine stuff to do. And then after that, what I can really churn and burn on is the interior. So I did car stereo for 14 years, and I can rock and roll on some interior. So that's it. Thanks, guys. Sorry it's not a full video, but this is kind of a process to figure this out. I've never seen anybody do this before, at least not on a car. You can find all kinds of videos on how to do it on a mini truck or something, but this is all different. Nobody's ever done this before that I know of. I've never seen anything like this on a car. So that's going to make it unique, and it's also what makes it fun, man. It's I don't want to do I don't like repetition. I don't want to do anything I've ever done before, and then just to boot, if I can do something nobody else has done before, that's kind of cool. That's a little bit extra. So again, thanks for coming by, and we will see you on the next video. It will be part 3 of the rear suspension. Thanks, guys.